Hi there, welcome to Lady in the Window. Good morning. Today we are planting blueberries. Lots of people love planting fruit trees, fruit bushes, and the reason we're starting early on these is because they tend to be perennials coming back every year. We want to get them in the ground, get them started. As with most fruiting plants, we want to kind of clip off a lot of the flowers and growth this year to make the harvest really punch next year. It's the hardest part of fruit trees, but strawberries, blueberries, elderberries, whatever it is you're growing. So I just wanted to show you kind of how we do this. We actually went and got a potted blueberry plant, and there's the varietal tag on there. Now, with blueberries, I screwed this up for the first couple of years, so big hints to you. You have to have at least two blueberry plants to get them to pollinate. They will flower, but they won't fruit. So if you can get two different varietals of blueberry plants, I can't say blueberry today, you definitely want to do that. It will help with the cross-pollination. Otherwise, at least two blueberry plants in your garden, in your yard, so that they're going to cross-pollinate. Now, when you're planting a fruit tree, most fruit trees, you're going to want to look at your pot and plant a hole twice as deep and twice as wide as the pot itself. That allows the roots to grow and know that they can start to expand, but it also helps you get to know your soil and know what kind of amendments it might need. And when I say amendments, I just mean what kind of nutrients might your soil need. When you dig up your hole, you might find that it's really rocky. We found some pretty big rocks in there, so we're going to get those out of there. You can pull out any big, huge weed roots, which is great. That gives some space for the plant to really root in there and not have competition. So what I've done is I've dug a hole twice as deep. I haven't actually pulled all the soil out because when I plant this and I put it in, I really want that root ball where the growth starts above the soil to be right at the top of the soil. So I don't really want to bury that root ball. It could start to rot, and any new shoots that are coming up will die off. So even though I've dug this hole out really deep, I've left a lot of the dirt in there because I'm not trying to make more work for myself. I also want to show you what I do is I put a piece of cardboard or plastic down when I'm digging up a hole, and I pile all of the dirt on top of it, and that way it's really easy to get back into the hole. I'm not getting any of the weeds from the yard, and I'm not having to be careful about other things, bugs, rocks, whatnot. And then anything left over, I just simply dump into my wheelbarrow and use elsewhere in my yard. So my soil here, when I look at it, it's pretty solid. It's got a lot of clay in it, but it does crumble when I crumble it. So that's good news. It means it's got good drainage, and so I am good to go here. I'm going to take my blueberry plant and I'm simply going to shake it out of the pot. And as you see, I've got my potted blueberry here. It is okay to kind of break up those roots. You're not going to hurt it. Just kind of break them up at the bottom to let them know, okay, you can grow now. Then I'm going to put it in here. Now, when I do this, I'm finding that my root ball, the top of my growth, is actually lower than my soil point. So I'm going to take some dirt and I'm going to fill back in. And you can even do this with compost. Or any soil amendment you want. When you fill back in the hole, you're going to put half compost or some sort of soil amendment to help really give it what it needs to grow. And then you're going to put half of the native soil back in. The reason you do this is just to make sure that your soil is ready for growth and that you're giving your plant all of the nutrients it needs to really start that growing process. It's being it's pulled out of its happy environment in its little pot, and so it needs to know that it has a happy environment to grow back into. So I'm going to fill this with what I do is I put some compost, and then I put some native soil, and then I put some more compost, and then I go ahead and cover it up. Now, when we dug ours up, we found that we did have a root cover, which is just that mesh plastic that people lay down to keep weeds out. I'm not a big fan of it. We'll talk about that in a later episode, but if you find that, what I did was I just cut it back with a box knife, and then, you know, I'll lay it back on top and put the natural covering, the mulch that was already here, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm just putting my final layer of compost down here, and I'm going to break it up as I go. I'm horrible about wearing gloves. I don't know about you, but the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of pull up on that blueberry, wiggle it around, make sure my root ball's right there at the surface of the top of the soil. I'm going to take that root cover and bury it back up, put my mulch back down on top of it. You definitely want that mulch, whatever you're using. Could be pine cones, it could be cardboard, it could be, you know, more compost, whatever it is you want to use. And that's that. All you need to do is make sure you give it a good watering right when you get it in the ground to make sure that it knows it can start growing. And that's true of any plant. So happy planting. Send us pictures of your new planting, and if you've got any blueberries in the ground, we'd love to see shots of that too. Take care. Have a great day. Ciao.